Welcome back.
Nothing is up. Thank you for... The caffeine is kicked in.
Yeah,
She's in
down.
full...
This might be a chaotic episode. We'll find out.
Yeah, I had a lot of coffee. It didn't really hit, and about an hour ago.
I did just get a
here.
Dunkin' cold brew as well that I downed. So
oh, it's gone.
It's gone. It is gone. For our listeners, it's gone, but for YouTube people, she's downed.
Yeah,
she's done.
Great.
So,
how's it going, Sophia?
It is going. I don't know, dude. I feel like I'm reading a little bit slower right now.
Really?
In what I'm reading.
Okay.
It's a bit weird. I'm like having so much fun, but like for me and my reading pace, I'm like, why haven't I finished this book already? It's a bit weird. I'm vibing though. Like I don't mind it. It's probably good for me to slow down a little bit. Yeah. It's just funny because it's not intentional, and I'm kind of like, okay. I don't know. It's been interesting. How are you? What's going on with you?
Reading is actually really good this month. Last month was like really slow. I only read like 2 or 3 books. But because I decided to speed through our in-person book club, we read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley.
I'm not going to read it, but
that's all I have to say, which was absolutely nothing.
Interesting.
Yeah, hot take. Did not enjoy.
We're kind of going to go to 2 different books for book club this month. Based off of the vibes. And so I'm going to read the other book we picked.
We picked In a New York Minute
by Kate Spencer, I think.
It's on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, it is on Kindle Unlimited. So it's the book that I bought when we went to the Rip Bodice.
Yes.
Which was super cute.
It's about like a famous dude, and he bumps into this girl on the subway, and they keep bumping into each other.
It's
cute.
New York rom-com.
Yes.
I'm excited to get
Spring
into it.
vibes. Yeah. New York City vibes.
Yeah.
All the vibes.
I know. It's finally getting warmer. Finally. So I'm very excited to start reading outside again.
I know.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. I'm excited. You guys, I hope first of all that everybody's reading is going well. It's really fun interacting with you guys on Instagram and being like, what's your read of the day? Like, what are you reading? Everybody's reading so many good books.
I know.
Sometimes I've never even heard of them. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna add that one to my Goodreads.
Exactly.
That sounds good.
Exactly.
So we're getting inspired by you guys for books, which has been awesome.
Yeah, we love taking your recs too, because I'm like, what is that book?
I know.
And it sounds really good. So
yeah.
We're going to jump into today's episode about book buying, book reading, some Kindle stuff. So get a snack, get a drink, do your laundry, get in your car.
Get in your car now.
Get in your car and drive. Yeah, because we don't have cars here. I don't know. Yeah. I'm on something right now. Okay, this is a fun fact. Did you know that caffeine doesn't actually kick in until about an hour after 10 a.m.? So people say don't drink coffee until it's 10 a.m.
Well, I didn't do that today, which is good because I got coffee at like 10:50.
It hits your bloodstream faster, which is what's happening to me. And I still have more coffee left over here. Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
That's true. You have like 4 or 5 sips left, maybe.
Okay, Sophia, I think we've been talking about how book reading is different from book buying, right? Yeah. What is the difference? I mean, besides buying and reading, like anyone can read a book, maybe find it online, get an ebook, whatever.
Right.
What do you think?
I think first of all, if you just love book shopping, just do it. Just have fun.
It's comforting.
Just go to a bookstore and just walk around and vibe. Like, honestly, that's one of my favorite things to do.
Where do you go book shopping, more online or in person?
In person. What I'll do is I'll usually start at a used bookstore, and then, if something catches my eye, maybe I'll get it. Maybe I won't. I don't know. If I'm looking for a specific book, I will also start usually at a used bookstore.
Okay.
Because I hate the feeling of being like, I'll go to Barnes first, and then I'll get it, and then I'll go to a used bookstore. I'm like, oh, they had it for, $3 cheaper or whatever, right? But for the most part, like, book shopping is just its own, like, thing.
Yeah.
It's a fun way to spend your time. If you love doing it, just do it. Just go to bookstores. The problem is, though, I feel like every book person, every reader is a little bit of like a shopaholic when it comes to books.
Yeah, dude.
And that also comes down to like, the physical feel of a book, like we were talking about.
Right.
Sometimes like you grab a book and you're like, I would love, it's so floppy, or it has that really cool matte cover, or it's just beautiful, I want it on my shelf, or whatever. So there is that aspect of wanting physical books. The problem is, I'll get a bunch of books, maybe, and I just go home and I put it on my shelf and I'm like, I'm going to get to this one soon. And then the cycle repeats.
You know what? I feel that. The thing with me is like the physical book, especially if it's new, sometimes it's only in hardcover, which if you go to Barnes & Noble, that's $30. Now,
I will say that keeps me from buying the book then. Because I'm like, I am not spending that much money.
If I'm that excited about it,
right,
I'm probably going to get the ebook. And if I really liked it, then I use it as like a little trophy. I bought and finished. I read this book already, but I didn't actually read this one. Yeah. I do that. I've actually been doing that with a lot of books lately because I wanted to buy Never by Jessa Hastings. I wanted to buy it because the cover is so
it is really
pretty. It's so pretty, but I didn't end up enjoying the book. Right. I'm glad I didn't get the physical. So I use my book buying more as trophies than I do. I like to, because I just treasure my physical copy so much. I don't want to bend anything. I don't want to scratch anything up. I just I don't want it to even look used. And there are some people that are like, I want a very loved, used up, torn, I've read this for 70 years kind of book. And I'm just like, no. That's how I am.
I think, if a book is well loved, if it's a book that I loved well, for example, it's precious to me. But I'm not, if I buy a new book and somebody messes it up within the first, month, I'm like, no. Yeah. What do you think about, talking about this idea of reading a book on your Kindle or, however you might get it. And then, I totally agree with the idea of, then I just want to own it because I love it so much.
Yeah, right.
What do you say to people that are like, well, that's just consumerism?
That's fine. Well, you know what? I know that I'm supporting. Here's the thing. I'm going to buy the book, right? Yeah. So the author gets whatever percentage from that store, and then the store gets the other percentage. Yeah. I want to keep bookstores open. My parents, they didn't bring me to a library more. They brought me to our hometown Barnes & Noble, and we would just grab a bunch of books and sit together. My parents would get cooking books and magazines, and so Barnes & Noble has a very sentimental place for me. So when I go back there, I'm like, I love bookstores.
Yeah. I think that's bringing up the library, though. I will say, guys, use your library because we also want to keep libraries open.
Yes,
they are severely underfunded by the government. I will say so. Support local bookstores and bookstores in general because there's some barns that were getting shut down, but also do support your library.
And if you can't physically go to the library, we've talked about this. There's this app called Libby where you can get an online use your online
easy to get a library card now. It's so easy,
and then you can get ebooks sent to your Kindle or to the app. So if you're too busy to go to the physical library, just
get books that way.
They have it
because
on
I think
ebook.
It's so important to keep any resource to get books, active. Yeah. And I'm very passionate about the library side of things just because I feel like there are so many good things that libraries are trying to do, and they're the only they're one of the few resources left that's a publicly funded type of thing for people to just, people can go to the library to get things printed for free. People can go to the library to so anyways, all to say, just throwing my little thought in there, support your library too. I think I also love buying books. I love it, but I will still try to go to the library if possible and just at least get one book from it. Again, that idea of I'm actively going, I'm being involved.
Would you rather have money to go to a new, to go get new books, Barnes & Noble, Strand, whatever, only new books, or would you use that money to go to a used bookstore?
I would probably go used bookstore only because those are typically more independently owned bookstores too. Yeah, and I do feel like we should be supporting more locally if possible. And also, let me just say it, guys. I am no crazy. I recycle as often as I can. I do try to reuse things, but I am not knowledgeable about how to recycle every little thing. I love the people that do. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for doing that for us.
Thank you.
And please continue to educate us on how to be better about, that. But all that to say, something that I think we can do as a reusable recycling resource is, going to used bookstores and seeing what can get left, what books can be, what we can, and you're still supporting indie local bookstores, and you are, giving books more love.
It's almost like thrifting. Yeah. Which it is thrifting.
Well, I will go purposely to thrift stores and make sure I'm going to the book section.
That's so interesting.
I have found so many of my books thrifted. Mm-hmm. So just, if you are going thrifting, go to the book section. You never know what you might find. I found the original cover of Throne of Glass for $2.
Right.
You found your copy at Strand for $8.
Yeah.
So, I think that if you are going to go book shopping, try all the different kinds. Thrift stores, used bookstores, then go to Barnes, then go to wherever,
I do have this really big FOMO about Fairy Loot and Owl Crate. These subscription books, book companies, and they do like a special edition cover, sprayed edges. What do you think about that? Do you think that's worth money?
I think they are beautiful.
I know.
I think that have you seen the trend that's like, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't tell you, but there would be signs.
Yeah.
For me, that would be starting subscribing to Fairy Loot or a Lumicrate.
Oh yeah.
I just can't right now in the life that I have, the finances that I have, justify, subscribing to it or getting
I feel like you would really have to start getting rid of stuff. Like, I don't want these streaming services because I want to get books, which I mean, that's cool too. But also when you get these special edition, you need space for the special edition.
If you're getting it, you don't want to stick it somewhere
in the back. No,
you're getting them as a collector's item to display.
Yeah.
So would I love to do it someday? Yes. But would I need literally a room that's just a library? Also, yes.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
That would be really fun.
Oh my gosh.
Or I would see the full wall that's just to like display. Now, people's bookshelves are so pretty.
I get jealous.
Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's just like
I have one tiny skinny bookshelf.
Right now I can't make it happen, which is sad, but
yeah.
It is what it is. And you know what? I think the other thing is people talk about, you shouldn't be buying books like I mentioned earlier, like it's consumerism. Well, people collect all sorts of things. Why can't we collect books? There are people that collect stamps. No shame to anybody that collects stamps, but like if you're gonna collect, seashells or stamps.
Why is Sophia getting so passionate about
or mugs? I don't know. Like, let us collect books.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know. That's the other thing, because people talk about how book reading and book buying are two separate hobbies. I do agree with that. I agree with that.
For sure.
Because I know...
But I don't think you could be a book reader without being a book buyer.
Oh, for sure. But I think that some people that are just more actively readers don't mind just constantly reading on like an e-reader.
Yeah.
Just based off of people that I've met. But I also know people that read more casually. So they will buy a book and then read it. Then buy another book, then read it. They don't necessarily buy a bunch of books and let some of them just get to the wayside. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Somebody on TikTok mentioned that of like, after I finish this book, then I will allow myself to get another one. I don't do that.
It's hard to do that.
Okay, for example, I ordered Magnolia Parks, the original cover, on eBay because Canada had it, and I think that's right. Canada had it, and it was coming from there to New York City.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit of pressure and rush to get it just because there's the new covers, which are called the Shoe Collection. And I think it just looks not classy at all. And that's not what the book is about anyway. Yeah. I felt this might go out of stock.
Yeah.
So I need to get the book now. So it's a little, like, some of those things are impulse buys, but, like, I know I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to really love it. So
yeah, I think that's fine. And again, it's kind of also like, okay, people collect Pokemon cards. People will pay. People will pay thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars for Pokemon cards.
Thousands of dollars. Did I hear that right?
Thousands. There are Pokemon cards. If you look up certain Pokemon cards on eBay,
excuse me,
tens of thousands of dollars.
No.
and this is US dollars I'm talking.
Dollar
bills, y'all. Like, there are some cards that people will say are like, oh yeah, those are good ones, but they're not the best, and they're still on sale for $5,000. So I think that we can change the mindset of buying books. You know, don't, like, if you're not going to read them, don't buy them. We can be allowed to collect them. Like, I would never agree to, like, oh yeah, you know, if you're going to buy a book, you have to read it. Now, do I want to read every book I buy? Yes. I don't buy books unless I want to read them.
Yes, right.
But I don't always get to them right away.
Yeah.
And then I get more books, and then it just happens, okay, guys?
Okay, well, talk to me.
It just happens.
Talk to me about Kindle versus physical. Which do you find yourself going for the most?
I really want to go for, like, an even split, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Because this is something that I have tried to form as a habit since the beginning of this year, beginning of 2024, which is whenever possible, I will get an e-version of whatever book I'm reading. There's multiple ways to get, like, books online. There's Kindle Unlimited. There's your libraries, like we were talking about. So if possible, I get an e-version of the book on my Kindle. I will bring my physical book with me most places if I'm bringing, you know, a larger bag or whatever, and I read from the physical book during the day or when I'm just chilling at home.
Yeah.
Then when I go to bed at night, I've been really trying to just finish up on my phone, put it away, pull out my Kindle, and read. Sometimes I will get through like 10 chapters of a book or more because I would be spending that time scrolling TikTok, you know? So I am able to read like so much by splitting it evenly. Because imagine if I only read, you know, a couple chapters in my physical book in a day, and then that was all I picked up of the book that day.
Yeah.
You know, so I really, and like I know that's a little bit more of like a cheat answer, but it's truly what I've been implementing since. That's how I read all of Throne of Glass in January. I'm not kidding you. Like, I literally was half and half between the physical books and then just being on my Kindle, literally picking it up for 10 minutes if I'm just waiting in a line. You know, it's so accessible to do both. I feel like in the world we live in right now, you can very easily do both.
I think what really made me buy a Kindle, first of all, I want to make it cute, so I wanted to decorate it. And really, I think that was one of the biggest things that got me into TikTok, because I was like, what are these girls holding? Yeah. Anyway, besides the cute aesthetic part of it, I justified me buying a Kindle because if I have the Kindle app, first of all, blue light on my phone, and I can swipe out really quick. So like the temptation and like ADHD of just like, oh, what's happening on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. I wanted to make sure that I was reading. Another thing really cool about Kindle and e-readers is that you can go out in the sun and there's no reflection. It looks like a real page. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I can bring this when I'm outside. I can bring this on a plane. So when I'm traveling, I very rarely anymore take physical books. Yeah. I take my Kindle and maybe one physical book that I'm like, I want to unplug and I want to relax. Right. But I'm not really picking up physical books when I'm out and about. Yeah. I don't like, but there are exceptions, like Assassin's Blade. First of all, it's so floppy. The cover is matte. Yeah. And the margins were huge. So I was like, I just want to touch it. And sometimes I just do miss touching books and feeling the pages. And I'm like, okay, like I just needed this. But for the most part, I'd probably say 60-40, 60 Kindle, 40 physical. Yeah. But then get me in a bookstore and my addiction.
I know. I think it's also something very comforting of just being in a bookstore.
It's cozy.
So, you know, and you and I have actually done pretty well recently of going into bookstores and walking out with no books.
It's been hard.
But we're doing better. Like, both of us have been doing a lot better. So I think there is also a matter of self-control. There is that element. But also, I think, do what brings you joy.
Here's no self-control. Is Kaitlin reading A Love Song for Ricky Wilde on my Kindle. Yeah. I'm obsessed with the cover, you guys. It's so beautiful. And I was like, I want that in my house.
It has people on the cover, which, as we previously discussed, we don't love. It has
beautiful colors, though. So, Barnes & Noble, $30 hardcover. Amazon, $26 paperback.
Whoa,
what did I
really?
do? Buy it last night.
Really?
So self-control. I don't know.
They have the paperback on Amazon?
Yes, it's coming today.
Wow.
Yes, I
Okay.
know. So I was like
Man.
$26 for paper. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, I'm doing it.
Well, so there you go. It also depends on what type of book, or like, yeah, exactly the type of book you might want to buy.
Have you heard of Pango?
Yeah, I got my copy of the second book in the Ember and the Ashes series, so the Torch Against the Night.
Okay.
I specifically was looking for a certain cover, like kind of like what you did with
Oh, I
Magnolia
see.
Parks. Yeah.
I see.
And the funny thing is, I kind of messed it up because the covers that I wanted are only published for the first 2 books of the series. So, and I've done my research, y'all. Like, I have done basically the first and second book I have of the Ember and the Ashes are this kind of more abstract cover. Like, it's very more like, I don't know. It's just really, I like them a lot. And the only reason I even have the first one because I found it in a thrift store.
Well,
you know?
there you
and
go.
so then I wanted a matching cover for the second one. I thought the rest of the series would be available, not sold in barns, but like, you know, somewhere out there.
Yeah.
And so I found the second one. I found A Torch Against the Night in the same like cover.
Oh, on Pango?
Vibe, on Pango.
Okay.
Got it. Got the sweetest note with it too from like the girl that was selling it. It was so, she was like, I hope you enjoy.
Honestly,
like,
I
it was
might.
so sweet.
I was just talking to you about selling my books to
Yeah.
Strand, which guys they take
They do
take
take books,
used
yeah.
books, and then they give you a credit so you
Yeah.
can go back.
Right.
But then I was like, I want to do something cute like that, so I
Yeah.
feel like I might try to sell
You
one
do just have
online
to deal
and
with like
see.
shipping and get
I
that
know.
kind of stuff. So that's a whole side
But
of
that's
it.
like so
Yeah.
like you gotta know. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Emily Henry.
Yeah.
What I think it's like her first 3 books. They're all paperback.
Uh-huh.
Happy Place came out.
Just came out in paperback.
Well, Happy Place came out first in hardcover.
Yes.
And it's months, almost a year
Yeah.
later, they have paperback.
Yeah.
No, here's my thing. I was so busy with my life when I started Happy Place
Yeah.
that I never got to finish it. But now it's in paperback.
I know.
And I'm like,
I haven't gotten it yet,
What
but
did
I
you-
do plan
you
to.
held it, though.
I did. It
Was
was
it-
a matte cover. Now, guys, it has a yellow spine, which is so annoying. It's
Wait.
not pink. It's not pink like the rest. The cover of the book is this beautiful, like hot pink, and the spine is yellow.
yeah, but like Book
But the-
Lovers is orange spine and
That's
a blue
true.
cover.
So maybe that's just like her
I
vibe,
don't-
which is like a different color. But I don't like the yellow.
The pink is
Anyways.
iconic.
The pink is iconic. I think maybe her publishers or like her designers, whatever. It's still in paperback, which is beautiful.
How much?
although
How
I
much was
think,
it again?
19 at Barnes, but it's probably
that's not
cheaper.
bad.
Yeah. Although I think Amazon might have it a little bit cheaper.
On it.
Probably. Yeah.
Let's look.
But I also think, okay, let me put it this way: with books that I do purchase, when I'm purchasing a book full price, I really only buy the ones where I really like the covers or I like the type of book.
$12.80.
On
I'm
Amazon?
sorry.
Okay.
12 guys. $12.80 for the paperback on Amazon. I'm sorry. I don't mean
Amazing.
to be supporting Bezos, but you know,
sometimes-
what am I supposed to do
sometimes-
here?
Maybe one day when we win the lottery, we'll fully just support local.
Yep.
And, but
Yep.
right now, guys, you know, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, no, I think when I'm purchasing a book at like a full price, I will only really buy books that I'm like, I love this cover, or I love that it's paperback, or I love whatever. But when I am thrifting and I find a book that I wanted, I will get it. So going back to The Ember and the Ashes, the third book, if you guys want to look it up, the US covers of the Ember and the Ashes series are so, like, I just don't like them. They're full on, like, people on the cover, you know, holding
right, you
swords
told
and
me.
holding, you know, like all these. And I'm like, really, that's the cover we're going to go with? Really, guys? Like, who decided this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be holding that book out in the open and everybody can be like, what are you reading? Like, that's
I
crazy.
know.
So that's why I wanted the books in that alternate cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not going to purchase. Anyways, and then I found out that the third and fourth book are not even published at all in that design.
Oh.
I have looked. They are not
Dang.
available at all. I don't even think they were. So I don't think they were published at all. But anyways, I found the third book at a thrift store, hardback, but it was $2. So it had the Barnes.
Whoa,
It had the. I know.
That was hard for my brain to follow.
So it was the U.S. cover.
Uh-huh.
So with the people on the front with like the swords and the whatever, right? Hardback, which I also don't love, but for $2, I was like, this is like a steal.
Where did you find it?
One of my favorite thrift stores in Queens. So,
Okay. Okay.
Not even a used bookstore, a thrift store.
Thrift store. Oh.
So, yeah.
This is also something you should know about Sophia that I've noticed when we go book shopping. She is not like, we're opposite in this way. So I will get the first book of the series and I like it. And I'm like, oh, like, I'll just get the. Sophia, if she can find the entire series, if she can find it, she will get it. She'll get it. So we were at the Strand and I am not done with Throne of Glass. Also, celebratory thing is that I finished Heir of Fire, and I will be big deal. So she finds me the original Throne of Glass cover. Yes. She's like, I don't know, you might need this. And she just like puts it in my hand. I was like, okay. I said, I'll think about it. I put it back. She's like, I would get it. I was like, oh, okay. So I pulled it out.
And then I found you used
Empire
copies
of Storms
and Tower of Dawn.
Yes.
And they're used, but they are pretty.
They look nice.
They look okay. And I was like, you're gonna get these too.
But she already knows that I'm gonna like it.
Oh yeah.
Yet it's been sitting on my bookshelf because I'm not there yet.
Well, but you
Sophia
will be.
Again, she's like, let's just. I already know I like it, so I'm gonna get all like that's what she's like. But then I'm like, well, I want to see if I like it, so I'm gonna do one at a time. You can do that too.
I've been better. There have been some books that I only get like the first or second book of a series.
Okay.
And that's usually if I know I might not like it. Like, or if I don't buy books if I think I'm not going to like it. But if I'm like, maybe I will, maybe I won't, and I still want to buy it, maybe because the cover's really pretty or whatever, I've been doing better. All that to say.
Congratulations.
That's also because it's expensive to live in New York City, and I've been doing my budgeting for 2024. So that also makes me a little bit like,
here's another question. What makes you... Oh, no, I lost my question.
No. That's okay. I can talk more about my
We do have some...
Books.
We do...
I have a quick question for you though, which is when Funny Place comes out, which comes out Funny Story, Emily Henry's.
Whoa.
Whoops.
Funny Story and Happy Place just had a baby.
I really, for real.
Yes.
When that comes out, which is very soon, actually.
It is soon. April?
Less than a month, I think, right at this point, something like that. In about a month, it comes out in April.
Okay.
If Emily Henry does an event at Barnes here, which I am praying she does.
Yes.
You'll be going.
Yes,
right.
I'm
going. We will both be going. And it comes with the hardback. It'll come because it comes out as a hardback.
Does
it? Yeah, it's gonna. So I know.
You guys.
I know. But here's my question: is even if she doesn't do an event, are you going to buy the book? Because I didn't do it last year with Happy Place. I just got it on my Kindle. But now that I'm so much more of an Emily Henry
I just love Emily Henry. I think I just want to get it.
I think I'm just going to get it anyways. Last year I was a little bit more like, I don't know. And so I will be getting probably Happy Place in paperback. But yeah, Funny Place is going to... Why do I keep... Funny Story.
Funny Place. Oh,
Funny Story is going to come out in hardback. So I think I will probably just be buying it anyways.
If you guys have not read any Emily Henry stuff, get on the train. This is about the season to read it because she has like a lot of springy, summery vibes. Beach Read is turning into a movie. People We Meet on Vacation, a movie, and Book Lovers. All movies. Yes. So if you guys can read the books before
get on it.
Anything comes out. Yeah. Anyway, it is now time. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. We go ham here. Yeah. Okay, we got some questions.
Okay.
I think this is a good one.
Okay. Hello.
Welcome to New York. Hey. Okay. This is by Steffi Heron.
Stephanie, hi.
Stephanie.
Steph, I love you.
Hi, girl.
I know. Hi to you.
This is a good one.
Cat and your baby, I love you.
Not the cat. How do you choose your next read or purchase? Reviews, recommended, etc. I want y'all to... Somebody mad up in here. They're just... Okay.
The decision is do we leave that in or not.
Yeah. Sophia, how do you choose your next read? Let's say... Because we pretty much know our month.
Yeah.
Our next month. So how do you choose your TBR? How about that?
So starting with the books that are like on the TBR that I already own, I'll do either fun random things or I'll like do more of a mood read. So I switch it back and forth. But even if I Hello?
Oh, really? Tell us more. Thank you so much for being a guest. Guys, this is New York.
Her windows are closed too. And we're on the
Fully
second
closed.
floor.
Fully closed.
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay, Sophia. How do you... I hear some screaming.
Drama. Okay. Anyways, picking a book from like ATBR from the books I already own. It'll be random, but for the most part, it's a mood read. Or it's a continuing of series because I'm in the middle of so many series.
Okay.
So that's more simple because it's like, you know, I already own it, which means I probably already bought it based off of like a recommendation.
Yeah.
But in terms of like if I'm book shopping and I'm, you know, kind of looking around, sometimes I will go in with like, I have heard great things about this book, whether it's from a booktuber or it's just circulating on Book Talk and I'm hearing positive things about it and I'm interested.
Cool.
I typically don't look into reviews too hard. I will say, like, I sometimes go to Goodreads and just to put it in my, like, want to read, like, little folder.
Yeah.
But I really try, which, of course, when you do that, you do get the average rating of the book.
Yeah.
But I very rarely will go in and read Goodreads reviews for it because I don't really trust Goodreads, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will basically buy books. Oh, my gosh. I will basically buy books based off of more recommendation versus like a Goodreads review.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah. That would be my...
New York. Interesting. I'll go to Goodreads only to see like an overall review. Anything from 3.5 on, I'm like, cool, let's check it out.
Yeah.
Anything lower, like 3 and below, I'll be like, you know, and so I scroll down, they show a bar of the amount of views of each star.
That's true. Yeah.
If I see 1 and 2 have the most, I probably don't do that.
True.
I also take recommendations from TikTok or from YouTube.
Yeah.
But very rarely do I read the synopsis of a book. I don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Some people do. They're like, "Ooh, I want to try a wild card here."
Also, synopsises go. Synopsises go.
Is it synopsises? Synopses?
Whatever.
Yep.
Probably. They go almost too far to like spoiler category usually, and I'm like, I want to just know, you know.
Okay, but then you go the other way of
true.
The Paris apartment, and it had 4 sentences. It was like the person and the like. It literally, you guys, 4 or 5 sentences, and I'm like, I don't know what this is about.
Give me a good middle ground, you know.
Right.
I give me like a description, but don't be like, so then this happens and then that, like some, like, you know, like when even movie trailers will do that where it's like you basically got the whole story.
I don't need that.
And you're like, so I think, you know, because the thing is when you go to Goodreads, sometimes the synopsis is more detailed. I've noticed.
That's interesting.
So I do go to Goodreads, like I said, and I see the average rating, but I usually don't click through to see the rest of the premise.
Long story short,
I
take people recommendations.
Yeah.
I'll go to like my favorite book talkers, or sometimes like there's not a lot of videos, which I should probably do a book talk video about this, but like what are some Filipino authors? Yeah. I don't see a lot of those kind of videos, so I'll actually go to Google. Google will then take me to Goodreads, and there's already an article about it. And I'm like,
awesome.
so like I forget that also Goodreads has articles written by people who own Goodreads.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I should probably check that out too. Like Goodreads is not just like the reading challenge.
I'll add to this really quickly. Do you also ever get intrigued by a book based off of like a quote? So you know how people will say like convincing you to read such and such book based off a quote? That does get me sometimes.
That gets you?
I'm going to be honest. It does get me a little bit.
Okay.
Or, guys, I am a sucker for, like, a retelling, typically.
Really?
Yeah. So sometimes if it's, like, a retelling of one of my favorite stories.
Like what?
So there's a book that I just added to my want to read on Goodreads that is a retelling of Rapunzel, but specifically more retelling of Tangled.
Is this
called
the...
Lightkeeper, something like that? It is an indie
This is
author.
not
the Twisted Tales, not the What If.
Okay.
This is a modern retelling.
What is it called?
I think it's called Lightkeeper or Lightkeepers. And I saw it because the way that the author, and I've talked in the past about how I sometimes get a little bit frustrated with how authors try to promote their books, but this girl did it so well. And so I added it to my want to read on Goodreads. I'm not going to lie. Like, I want to read that book, but also because Tangled is one of my favorite movies and, like, stories of all time.
Is it The Light Keepers?
It is. Just look up. I don't know. I'll find it. But it just looks so good. So anyways, I sometimes also get convinced by, you know, maybe a possible retelling.
You know what?
So
get me a good cover.
Yes.
Get me a good cover.
That's
and now
true.
I'm picking it up. And now I'm going to, like, flip through. Oh,
yes.
Also, if the first page, if that gets me, it's over. Yeah. I'm going to keep, I'm probably going to get it.
If you open up and there's a prologue and the first paragraph grips you,
ooh,
then I'm like, okay,
it's over. It's over.
Have you ever, though, sorry, I know I keep adding to the stuff. This was such a good question. Do you ever go book shopping then, and if the cover's really pretty, or you open it up and you're like, I just don't want to buy that many books right now, do you take a picture of it?
Yes.
I do that too.
Yes.
Because sometimes I'm too lazy to open up Goodreads and go look it up, so I'll just take pictures of random books. And so I used to have, like, just so many. I'm doing it less now because I sometimes do find myself going to Goodreads, but I literally will sometimes just take pictures of covers. And I'm like, this one, or this one, or this one. And because of that, it's, like, usually the cover. I'm like,
it's hard because Kindle is all in black and white mostly, and I would love to read
there are some
in color.
Kindles that do color, but I think the light is different. I don't think it's the same kind of, like, blue light.
Right.
So it's more like an iPad screen.
So give me a good cover. Give me a floppy paperback.
Yep.
I'm sold. I'll give you my $30, Barnes & Noble. It's over. That was a really good question. Thanks, girl.
Amazing.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Thanks, Stephanie.
How's life in Montreal? Let me know.
LOL. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. Don't forget, if you want to make some book besties and read along with us, we are doing a book club on Fable.
Yes.
Just download the free app. You don't have to pay any money. Make a cute little profile, and then you just can click our link in our bio on Instagram and find your way there. It's at your own pace. Very low-key, very low stress.
Yeah. It's been fun. We're having a good time with it.
But we want to get to know you, and we could talk about our book.
Yeah.
So,
amazing.
Yay.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.